Hi everybody, it's me Ragged07 with you today, and I would like to talk about times are changing. This here's a picture I made in 1999. It was one of the very first, um, I guess, real works of art that I did, if you call it that. But it's my dad's favorite, and he really likes it, and it's in his office. Yay! Okay. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you guys today about the storm that's going on in our world. And I have a lot of growing concern going on. Oh, number one, how lovely it is that they have another school shooting. Coincidence? I think not. Um, if you go around YouTube, okay, now I subscribe to all kinds of people and all kinds of religions or non religions, um, whatever. You know, people who are really political, people who are truthers, all that, okay? Any kind of people you can imagine, I have on my list. And I think that's good to have diversity in the world. I think it's perfect because, and we are thrown some challenges. And I think that the challenges morally that we are facing are not really challenges. They don't have to be challenges. It shouldn't be a challenge to love and respect another human being, okay? And no matter how they live their life. But don't get on YouTube and sit there and complain and spend an 8-minute video giving your knowledge. You know, you're so wondrous. You're so holy. You know, you're so wonderful. Seriously, do you have a saint in front of your name? You know, like Saint Bob or something? Because you're not doing the job that God put us here to do. And we need to understand this. There are people with difference of opinions. There are people that have different lifestyles. And we can either spend an 8-minute video complaining about them, or we can look at them as human beings. Human beings that walk and talk and eat and poo and do everything else like we all do, okay? They have their love and they have their hate. And, you know, the things that I don't even know. I won't say hate. Well, yeah, I will. Is lying. Lying to yourself, lying to other people. Um, I, my life is an open book. I don't care anymore. Okay, I've been outed on so many things, and when I look back at that, I was like, oh no, oh no. But why do I care? Why do I care? Because these are things that God knows I have done. And it's between him and I, not you and I. It's between him and I. And he knows why I've done things. He knows why I believe things. And I may be wrong. I may be dead wrong. And, but what I have learned is to respect people as human beings. And that means, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys a little story that um, I did last summer. That happened last summer, and this was right after the whole freaking Benghazi setup crap, and the whole Muslim terror, and all this stuff. Um, I saw these people. And this was in this downtown, and I saw these people, and they were obviously Muslim, just the way they were, dressed and stuff. You know what? I smiled at them because why? They're still human beings, and they still have a soul, and they still have a heart. Okay, and that's unless they pull a gun out on me, which really would, I don't know. Anyway, um, and they looked at me in shock, and they smiled back. I'm like, if we could just do this to everybody, then why would there be so much hate? There's no reason for this. And I'm going to say this to some of my bundies out here, and I guess in a way maybe I am, you know. because I do have such a love for God. And some people say, "Oh my gosh, you're funny," but no, I'm not. Like the judging per people, okay? No, ain't gonna happen. Never will. Um, let's see, where was I going with this? This is like my fourth time trying to make this video because I've just been so very upset. Um, but I mean, okay, this is where I was going. Okay, Jesus stepped out of his comfort zone, right, and talked to, I think it was a Samaritan. And that if you're comfortable with yourself, if you're comfortable with your faith, then why you care? Do you know what I mean? Why you don't have to be mean to people just because you don't agree with their lifestyle. You don't have to be mean to people. And I wish to God people could understand this all around the world. But I believe we're in end times, okay? And we'll figure it out. And those people who have so much hate in their soul for a particular group of people are going to find out real quick, and they're going to feel that pain that has been inflicted, that they personally have inflicted on other people because of their so-called righteous opinion. Okay? You know what I love this is the fact that, and I'm probably getting names wrong, but you know what? You'll get the idea. When the guards came to Jesus, they're like, "Look, dude, Pilate wants to kill you. They want to kill you, right?" And he whips around and he says, "You tell that fox he cannot do this." And, it was about the Sabbath and all this, Passover and all that stuff. And that right there totally gave me a complete perspective. That little bit gave me perspective. And it was, I learned this at church, okay? A complete perspective on his personality. Because, I always feel bad because it's like, I'll sit there going, I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to put up with this. Why are these people like this? And I don't have to put up with you. And, pretty much what he said, I don't have to deal with you right now. I don't have the time. I've got things to do. I've got healings to do and people to feed and all this. I don't have time for this. Is basically what he's saying. And if you really want to go there, into a certain respect, it would be like calling somebody a jackass. Or even maybe a bitch. Okay? That's really extending it, okay? But, and I could be wrong about that, and I'll probably get up there and be like, "Oh, no, 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 see." But, I get it, and it really did. It made me realize that there are things that you don't have to put up with. And for him talking to the lady at the well, the Samaritan, people were like, "Oh, you talked to her. I can't believe it. What's wrong with you?" And, he just said it like it was. Basically, she's a human being. So, your point? I really cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet him in real life. I cannot wait. You know, um, we think we can know. We think that. But I think when it's face to face, it's a complete different story. It's a completely different story. I think everyone's vision of God and Jesus is completely different from one another. Um, I see a very kind, happy, loving, extremely loving um, person with a wonderful sense of humor, um, and just makes you feel comfortable. And he deals with his enemies, and we deal with our enemies. We don't have to put up with stuff, and but we don't have to hate. Do you see what I'm saying? People want to go around and hate gay people and hate the Muslim people or whatever. I'm just saying the two most hated right now. But those, people need to get that these people are living, breathing, heart beating, God created people. And it breaks my heart that we can't get along. We just can't get along. And that's destroying this world. And I believe that this is evil getting into people who want to think that they're righteous. I really do. Because all they want to do is hate the gays, hate the Muslims, hate this person, hate that person, hate, hate, hate. Let's shoot people for crying out loud. Let's take their guns so we can control their lives. I hope I'm making myself clear. And you know what? Take care of yourself and find what's in your heart and in your soul. And you're gonna live a better life. You will live. You need to you need to concentrate on having a relationship with your own spirit and God's spirit, your maker spirit, and I believe his son's spirit. You have to make that relationship. You have to establish that. And you know what? That hate will be lifted. It has nothing to do with how many Bible verses you can quote. If you don't know God and you don't know his son on a personal level, you have nothing. And that's pretty much my opinion, and of opinion of a lot of people who aren't judging, you know. And I'm going to close this out. And I hope that nobody hates me or unsubscribes me because, oh my heavens, I talked about God, and, it's a free world, guys, and I respect your opinion, and I hope that you respect mine, and I hope that somehow or another you learn something, right? Okay, as always, peace be with you, be kind to one another, and learn to love. God bless. Bye bye.